Colin, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Colin, can you hear me? Sorry. Hello, test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there is a delay. What are you seeing on YouTube right now? What are you seeing on YouTube right now? Okay, obviously you can hear me. All right, you just said before you couldn't. You did so. All right. Well, if you're joining us right now because you're curious, in just a few minutes, we're going to be starting a class I'm calling Warrior for Peace. And this is really just in light of all that's going on outside of us, outside in the world today. And there's so much unrest. There's so much what feels so much destabilization going on. And it's interesting how now the protests that we're seeing now for racial justice is now starting to, the violence, we're seeing less and less of that. And I feel that actually people are beginning to come together. And so my feeling about when we are a warrior doesn't just mean, put up your nukes and fight. A warrior is somebody who stands strong for what they believe in, and but also has an open heart. And I think that when we can stand strong in our convictions, when we can look at others and without judgment, when we can open our hearts to people that are different, and accept that we are all different in one way or another. It's what makes us so special. It's the human race. It's the animal species. It is nature. There isn't anything that is identical. Certainly you might have identical twins, but even them, you can tell the difference. One has a different personality from another, right? And unless we actually clone, but barring that, for the most part, everything around us, the people, everything in nature is unique. And it is in that uniqueness. It is in that, that's what makes us special. And that's what really is what makes us as individuals special, but also as a whole, the fact that we are all different. I mean, what a boring world it would be if all of us looked the same, acted the same, if every tree on the planet looked exactly the same. So it is in the difference that makes life, makes us, makes people exciting and interesting and special. So as we begin in about 1 minute from now, if you've just joined us, go ahead and grab a blanket, if you would. And if you have a couple of blocks, and if you don't have it doesn't need to be a yoga blanket, it could be a towel, a beach towel. And if you don't have yoga blocks, see if you can find a couple of books that might be of the same height. These are just supports for you if you need them as we move on in our practice. So, so just, if you would, just think about your intention for joining me today. And in the joining of our experience today, let's see, here she is. I got somebody in here. Wonderful. So, hi there. So, in the joining of our experience today, let us find some joy and peace and unity in each other. And the truth is that peace begins within. It begins with us as individuals. So if you would take an easy seat, that could be crisscross. This is called Sukhasana. But if it's troubling, it's difficult or challenging for you to cross your legs because you might have tight hips, go ahead and take a blanket or a towel and fold it up, and go ahead and place it under you. And that just helps you lift up and tilt your pelvis forward a little bit. It just gives you a little bit of ease in this sitting posture. And if also you prefer, you can also open your legs. You might have stiff knees and it might be difficult. Another option, you don't realize there's so many options for sitting. You can place your blocks or your books underneath your knees as well. So as we begin our practice today, the intention is to think about the warrior of peace within you. And warriors are those who are not just people who get up and fight with fists, right? Warriors are those of us who stand strong in our convictions and then also with an open heart. So I'm calling this practice today warrior for peace. And so that is my intention for you today. And if you have a different intention, that is perfectly fine. And just, if you would just discover and determine what it is you need from this practice. And that will be your intention. So we're all different, and that's what makes us special. So right now, if you would, in this easy seat, go ahead and close your eyes. Just soften your eyelids and just settle into your seat, just relaxing the different parts of your body where you might feel some tension, using your breath to just settle in. Feel the connection of your seat to the earth or to the blanket. You can rest your hands either palms down or palms up. In fact, let's put our palms up today because we're here to receive with an open heart. And with your eyes closed, just begin to check in and notice what it is that's going on with you in your mind right now. Is it unsettled? How about your body? Check in with your different aspects of your body. Just notice any tension. Using your breath to release any tension. Just taking this moment to check in. Your chest is lifted, your back is long. The crown of your head is reaching up. At the same time, we're settling in. Long and strong. Now go ahead and take your left hand or your right hand, put it over your carotid artery. Just feel for your pulse. So that's right underneath your neck. And just move your fingers around there, a couple of fingers, just until you find your pulse. With your eyes closed, and feeling your pulse, feeling the beat of your heart. The blood pumping oxygen. heart beating, maybe counting your pulse, feeling the life within you. Now go ahead, keep your fingers on the pulse, and now bring your opposite hand to your chest. And at the same time, we're feeling the pulse, the life within us, our heartbeat, our space to give and receive love. Feel your lungs expand with each breath. Feeling the oxygen moving in through your nose, the warming air as it moves out through your nose. Feeling that lungs expand with each breath. Feeling your pulse. Feeling what's giving you life. And knowing that if we have a pulse, we have the power to make positive change. And that our air that we breathe in and out gives us the power to speak out. Now go ahead and lower your hand. You can put your palms down on the top of your knees. And let's begin to roll our shoulders as we breathe. Inhale, lift your shoulders up and back and around. Moving with your breath. Moving with that life force. Knowing, feeling that blood pumping through your system. The humanity of our heart and our breath. Now go ahead and reverse those shoulders, backing up, moving with your breath. Beautiful. Now bring your hands to the front of your knees. We're going to do a little cat-cow now. So we're going to inhale and lift our chest from a seated position. Exhale. Lean back, draw that navel in, holding onto your knees and rounding your back. Moving with our breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale, rounding our back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat, rounding our back. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, rounding our back, drawing that navel in. Beautiful. Now come back to center. We're going to twist now. So let's inhale, lift, exhale, turn to your left, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, looking over your right shoulder, twisting, and come back to center. Inhale, lift and twist over your left. Exhale, center. Inhale, lift, open up the spine. Exhale, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, center, this time hold. Exhale, this time release and into your twist. Dropping those shoulders, squaring up those shoulders. You can use your back hand to press down into the earth, lifting up your spine. Your chest is lifted, your chin is drawn in. Inhale, we lift, lengthen our spine. Exhale, see if you can take your right hand on the outside of your left thigh and deepen the twist if you choose. Inhale, lift, exhale, deepen that twist. Beautiful. Come back to center. Let's do the other side. But before we do, just take note how one side differs from the other side as we begin to open and lengthen. Let's take an inhale and exhale, release into the twist on the other side, on your right side. Once again, draw those shoulders down towards your hips. Your back hand can be pressing with your fingertips into the earth, pressing into the earth to lift up that spine. And inhale now as we lengthen our spine, and exhale, see if you can move a little bit into that twist, deepen it a little further, using your left hand on the outside of your left knee to perhaps deepen this twist. Make sure you don't lift your shoulders. Keep those shoulders down. Beautiful. Now go ahead and come back to center. And just take a moment here. Take a breath. All right, go ahead and switch out your cross if your legs are crossed, just to give them a little break. Switch to the other sides. Bring your arms out to the sides, palms facing up. As we inhale, we lift our arms up. Exhale, palms down, lower your arms down by your side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower your arms down by your side. Inhale, arms up. This time, drop down your left arm only. Take your right arm. Go ahead and let it bend up at the elbow. You can have it even resting on your top of your head, the crown of your head. Keep your left hand down on the floor, onto the earth, connected, feeling that stretch. And you can tilt your head over to the right, feeling a nice lengthening in your neck, and dropping that hand down onto the floor, your left hand, feeling a beautiful stretch all the way from your ears down to your fingertips. Take a breath here and smile and release. All right, go ahead and let go and bring your head back to center. Just see, maybe you might want to turn to the right, turn to the left, and then turn your head to the right. All right, beautiful. Whatever you need here. All right, let's lift our arms again. Bird arms, lifting, palms facing up. Inhale, up. Exhale, palms down, lower. Inhale, palms up, arms straight up overhead. Exhale, lower. Once again, this time we're going to hold. Inhale, up. Lower your right arm to the ground, to the earth, and bend your left elbow. You can rest your hand over your head, tilt your head over to the left, getting a nice stretch in your neck here. And pressing your right hand into the earth, keeping that chin drawn in. Breathing here. So we get a nice, beautiful stretch all the way from our ears down to our fingertips. Release, let go. Using our breath, using the exhalation to release a little deeper into the stretch. All right, go ahead and release that left arm. Turn your head to the left and turn it to the right. All right, beautiful. Now go ahead and put your feet, we're coming into Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose or butterfly. You're putting your bottoms of your feet together. Now again, this might be, you might have tight hips here. So again, you can be sitting on your blanket. And don't worry about, getting those knees flat to the floor. Wherever they land, they land. And we have a nice diamond in the middle. Now, if you choose, you can bring those feet up towards you, if that will give you a deeper stretch into our Baddha Konasana and on the inside our inner legs here. Or maybe your feet are out more into a wider diamond shape. And see if you can grab on, maybe you're grabbing on, you're holding on to your shins, dropping those shoulders. Take an inhale here and begin to tilt forward from the hips. Inhale and exhale and deepen this stretch. Now, it doesn't matter where you are. This sitting upright might be where you are today, or you might feel that you can get a deeper opening in your hips, a deeper stretch in your inner thighs. Just releasing those hip joints. You can hold on to your shins, or maybe you can hold on as in a forward fold. You can even hold on to the bottoms of your feet, or maybe explore and bring your fingers out in front, just putting your tips onto the earth, maybe helping you deepen this stretch. No forcing, using your breath to release. All right, go ahead and come back up to center. Now we're going to be sitting lengthwise on the mat with our legs out straight in front of us. Dandasana or staff pose. So we're in an L-shaped, and our feet, our toes are pointing back at us. Just put your hands to both sides, either side of your hip. Just press down, inhale, pressing down and releasing those shoulders. Inhale, press down, and exhale and release. Beautiful. Now with our hands to the either side of our hips, we're going to bend up at the knees and come into tabletop, a reverse tabletop. So we're going to bend up, we're going to push up with our hands, lift our hips, bend up at the knees, and lift our hips all the way, reverse tabletop. And then we lower down, keeping our feet on the ground. We're not moving our feet. So we're going to do that again, and let's move with our breath. So we'll inhale and lift. Here we go. Inhale, press, bend knees, lift hips. Exhale, lower hips, and come back to Dandasana. Inhale, lift, bend at the knees, lift the hips, open up our chest. Exhale, lower down into Dandasana. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, bend up at the knees, lift the hips. Let's hold here for a moment. Take a breath, open up those hips. Our fingers should be pointing away from towards our feet. Open up our chest. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Beautiful. Shake it out. Shake out your fingers. You can turn your wrists side to side, like you're opening or closing a faucet. All right, lovely. We're going to forward fold now from our Dandasana. So this time we're going to inhale, lifting our arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Now keep a bend in the knees. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, keep those knees bent, slightly bent. Very good. Keeping our back straight as we forward fold. Inhale up again. Exhale, let's stay in this forward fold. Our back should be straight here. Our knees can be bent. And just take a nice breath here. And just notice how that feels here. That's my dogs. Gracie, no. Too bad they can't do yoga. That's my warrior. Gracie, then this is Yogi. And here they are, my warrior dogs protecting their home. All right, from here, go ahead and take your left arm, your left hand, put it on the outside of your right leg. And just bring yourself into a bit of a twist here. You could hold the bottom of your feet if you are in deep enough twist, or maybe you grab the outside of your shin, Wherever you land is fine. And this is just bringing us into a little bit of a twist here. So we're using our hand to kind of push us, move us into a twist. Opening up our shoulders as well. All right, beautiful. Other side, switch to the other side. Right hand on the outside of your left leg. Breathing. Twisting. Again, you might grab the outside of your heel, getting a nice stretch in your shoulder area. Maybe using your other hand to use some resistance to turn you deeper into the twist. And come back to center. And you can put your hands behind you, just shake it out. Maybe roll your legs side to side, rolling them, rotating them, and shaking them out. All right, let's come on to all fours. And we're going to do a few cat-cows here now from all fours. So our arms are directly under our shoulders. Our fingers are spread wide apart. We're going to inhale and lift our chest. And to cow. Exhale, push the floor away from you and round into cat. Inhale, lift our chest, look up. Exhale, push the floor away from you, rounding into cat and drawing that navel in as we round the back. Inhale, lift our chest. Keep those shoulders towards your hips. Exhale, cat. This time we're going to inhale into our cow. Now exhale, push back, hips to heels into a child's pose, drawing that navel in. Inhale, cow, lifting those hips, lifting the chest. Exhale, push back, hips to heels into child's. Inhale once again, tuck your toes under and lift those knees, push back into a downward dog. Hold here for a moment. Get your dog. You can walk the dog here, pressing one heel down at a time, bending the opposite knee. Head is directly, ears are in between the eyes of your elbows. Pressing the hands away from each other to activate your upper back. All right, let's do that again. Let's inhale, come into cow. Exhale, tuck the toes under, come into downward dog. Do it again. Inhale, cow. Exhale, toes under, come back into dog. Now let's shift our weight coming into a plank so we can come on our knees for our first plank here. Now let's hold here for a moment. Press your hands away from each other, pressing the fingertips in. We should have a nice straight line from our head down to our knees. Draw those elbows in. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Keeping those elbows snug tight in, lifting, drawing that chest forward, lifting up, shoulders down, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck those toes under, push yourself up back to child's pose. Inhale, knees lifted, hips high, downward facing dog, upside down V. Let's do that again. Inhale, come into a plank. You can be high or low on your knees. Elbows in, lower down, chaturanga. Push those heels back. Inhale, drop those shoulders, lift your chest, cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck those toes under, push yourself up and back. Now up into a down dog. Let's do this again. Inhale, plank. Exhale, elbows in, chaturanga. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe straighten arms here, coming up into a down dog, maybe lifting your knees, maybe not, squeezing that buttocks. Tucking those toes under and come back into a downward dog. Beautiful. Let's stay here in dog for a moment. Take a breath. One more breath. All right, now go ahead and lift up your right leg straight behind you, three-legged dog. Now shift, tilt those hips, open up those hips to the right. So now our right hip is stacked over our left hip. Bend that right knee, keeping your shoulders square to the earth. Your head and neck should be loose and free, drawing those shoulders back towards your hips, drawing that bent knee back behind you, but keeping those shoulders square. Straighten up that leg, square up those hips, lower your foot, come back and push yourself hips to heels down into a child's pose. And stay here and just rest for a few breaths. Just check in here also. Just notice how you feel. We're moving into some more challenging poses here and some movement. All right, go ahead and come up to all fours again. Let's tuck toes under, meet in down dog. Beautiful. Lift up that left leg straight behind you, three-legged dog. Take a breath here. Push yourself back. Don't let yourself come up over those shoulders. Push yourself back. Beautiful. Now tilt your hips to the left. Stack left hip over right. Bend up the left knee. Keep those shoulders square to the earth. And breathe here. This is a nice stretch in our upper thighs, our quadriceps. Beautiful. Breathing. Pushing back, shoulders square, and square up those hips, straighten that leg. Go ahead and lower that left foot down. Take a breath here in down dog. Shoulders are back towards our hips. Nice, strong arms like pillars. Lift up that right leg again. This time, bend up in the knee. Draw that knee in towards your nose and plant that right foot in between your hands, coming into a lunge. Now, this is where you can use your blocks if you choose, or your books, where you lift the floor. We want to have a straight back here, so we don't want to be crouched over. We want a nice straight back. So if it requires you to lift here, lift using the blocks or the books to lift the floor. And if you feel you have a nice opening in those quadriceps in your front body here, you can also come up and to lift your torso up straight for even a deeper stretch. Now you might need to make some adjustments here. You might need to walk that foot forward if you feel that you're not getting enough of your stretch. Remember, your hips are not over your knees. Your hips are pressing forward. You have a nice right angle. So the ankle is directly under our knee. Beautiful. Now bring your hands behind you, clasp your fingertips, and let's lift here, lifting up our chest for a half warrior one. So we're lifting up, so we're getting a little bit of a back bend here. Keep that chin drawn in, lifting, opening up our chest, nice opening up of all those pectoral muscles. And at the same time, opening up our heart to receive and know our own kindness and receive and give kindness back to the world. Beautiful. Go ahead and come on back to your lunge. And we're going to twist now. So if you're down, if you are lower here and using the blocks, bring one block over to the inside of your ankle, your right ankle, and place your hand on that block, and then go ahead and twist over to the right. I'm going to turn around. If you are up, if your torso is lifted, and we're going to also twist over to the right. So we lift and then we twist. You can bring that arm behind you. You can rest it on your lower back or perhaps behind you to help you deepen your twist. Take a breath here. Beautiful. Smile. Don't forget to smile. All right, lovely. Go ahead and straighten that front leg, that bent leg now. Let's just give it some relief. Your toes are drawn back towards your shins. All right, beautiful. Now come on back. Now keep your hands again. You might need the blocks here. You're either on the blocks or on the floor. We're coming into lizard pose now. So just point your toes about 45 degrees out, keeping your look down and make sure that your belly button is facing the earth. Keeping your arm, your inner arm, connected to your bent leg and coming into lizard. Now, if you want to deepen this stretch, you can come down lower on your blocks. And maybe you have a lot of opening in your hips. You can even come down lower onto the floor. Whatever suits you, whatever works for you. Another breath here. Okay, go ahead and move those blocks away. And we're going to come into pigeon now. Crossing that right foot, that foot over, that bent knee over. And we bring it over so that our heel is directly in front of our straight leg. And your hands can be down. You can be straight, sitting upright. And now we're getting a nice stretch, nice opening in our hips. Now, if this is difficult for you, if that's challenging, you can do a seated pigeon where you put your ankle over your straight leg, put your hands behind you, bend up that straight leg, and you can rock back and forth here. So either way will work, will be fine, whatever suits you, where your body is today. And every day is different. So no judgment. Just accept what is. All right, beautiful. The back foot, tuck those toes under, lift up that back knee, press against the earth and bring that bent leg back and come back, and let's meet in downward dog again. Let's press here, press our hands away from each other. Let's get a nice down dog stretch. Pressing back, beautiful. And let's do the other leg now. Go ahead and lift up that left leg, three-legged dog. Now bring that knee to nose and plant that foot. You might even walk that foot in between your hands. Once again, you might be using a block here to raise the floor. Just note, if you're hunched over, we want to have our back nice and straight, and that might require you to bring your hands onto the blocks or the books. Or you might have more of an opening in your quads, in your front body, so that you can lift your torso up straight. You can even raise your arms here if your hands are not down on the blocks. You can raise your arms, reaching up to the sky. No back bend here, just reaching high, pressing that hip forward, pressing that right hip forward. Breathing. Beautiful. Now we're going to offer a twist up here. So turning over, looking over your left shoulder. Now, if you're again onto the block, you can move that inner block over to the ankle and then put your hand on there. You can raise your hand up or put it behind you if you choose. And if you're lifted, you can take your opposite hand, put it behind you, or rest it on your sacrum, your lower back. Lovely. Okay, now go ahead and unwind. We're going to move into our lizard pose. If you have blocks, place them in between. Actually, put your blocks or books in between, and we're going to rest our hands on top of those blocks. Walk the toes of your foot out about 45 degrees. Now watch where your hips are. We don't want to turn here. That's a different pose. That's a twisted lizard. Keep your hips square. Now your arms can be straight here, or if you feel you want to go deeper and get more of an opening in that hip, in that left hip joint, you can come down and rest on your forearms. Whatever feels good for you. And you might even need to bring up those blocks or the books and lift them higher if that suits you. We're just looking for a nice, not a stretch, a nice opening in our hip joint and, of course, our quads. So you make whatever adjustments you need to make. All right, we're coming into pigeon now. You can move those blocks away. Walk that foot, maybe heel toe, heel directly in front. Bend up at that knee and plant that heel in front of your thigh, your right thigh, so you can be lifted. Now, if this is challenging for you, and it is for me because I have an injury in the inside, the tendons inside my knee. So when I come into pigeon on this side, I need to put a blanket underneath my left hip to help relieve some of that pain. And then I open up my knee a little bit because it really hurts when I close that knee up too far. And you can, if you want, come down on your forearms, maybe rest your head. Just notice the difference between this side and the other side. Breathing here and noticing. See where you can find peace, where you can find ease in each posture. When we're holding, whether we're holding or we're moving with our breath. All right, beautiful. Tuck your back toe under, your right toes under, lift up that right knee and swing that left foot back, coming back into a downward dog. And we can walk. Actually, let's walk our hands back towards our feet. And let's just stay here for a moment in Uttanasana or forward fold. You can bend up at the knees here and let your head and neck just hang. Let your shoulders just hang. Take a breath here. Beautiful. All right, now go ahead and put your hands on your shins and just walk your hands up your legs as we come up to standing Tadasana, mountain pose. Just take a moment here. You can shake it out. Just notice how you feel. Maybe close your eyes here and just take 1 or 2 breaths. Planting your feet, feeling your bottoms of your feet connected to the earth. Giving us the stability, grounding us like proud warriors. Drawing our shoulders down towards the earth. Beautiful. All right, so from Tadasana, my mat sort of keeps moving forward here. I'm going to step back into our first warrior pose. So taking your right foot, let me come on this side. Take your right foot from Tadasana and step back with your right foot. First start in a lunge, a high lunge here. So our heel is lifted. That's a high lunge right here. Our front knee is bent. Now turn that heel in, toes pointing out about 45 degrees. Turn your hips towards the front, towards your bent knee. Press with your back foot. Press against the pinky toe side of your foot, but press down with that big toe, which helps lift up your arch. So before we can move, we need to stabilize. So we stabilize, and here we are in Warrior One. Go ahead, you can lift up your arms high, reaching high, bending at the front knee, press back, feel that stability. Press both legs away from each other. Beautiful, reaching. Take those thumbs behind you, see if you can tilt that pelvis back and lifting up high and reaching those thumbs back for a slight back bend here. See how that feels for you. So now we're beginning to open up our heart, pressing those feet away from you. Now bring your arms behind you, lace those your fingers together. See if we can open up our heart, open up our chest even more. Sending our light, sending our love, sending our positive energy out into the world. And then forward fold towards our bent knee into our humble warrior. Humble warrior. So now notice how you're balancing here. You might need to make an adjustment, reaching back with your hands, lowering, bowing our head. So we show respect for others. Go ahead and lift up once again. Unwind and turn your hips towards the right, and we come into Warrior Two. So now we have our hips, our heels are in line with each other. So we turn our hips to the right, facing. Our hips are now facing away from our bent knee. Now we look over our left fingertips and breathing here. Beautiful. Now notice your front leg might be tight. Go ahead, you can straighten that front leg and bend it again if you feel that your leg is getting a little tired. Reach behind you, lift up your right hand behind you, reverse warrior, allowing your right hand to just slide down the back of your right thigh. Exhale, lower down once again. This time, put your forearm on your leg, reaching high, reaching side stretch. So now remember to press that back foot away and shift that weight towards the back to distribute our weight equally, reaching with our right hand. And now straighten up that front leg, reach up with your left hand behind you, reverse, but our front leg is straight, coming into a triangle pose or Trikonasana. Looking over those fingertips, those left fingertips, reach as far as you can, send those hips back in the opposite direction, and when you can no longer go any further, lower down into our triangle pose, bending up. Make sure you have a micro bend in that front leg. Beautiful. Now let's put it all together, moving with our breath. Inhale, reach behind you. Front leg is straight right now, but now we're going to bend up that front leg coming into a Warrior Two. Inhale, reach behind you, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, resting on our forearm. Inhale, straighten that front leg, reverse triangle. Exhale, reach forward, coming into a triangle. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, bend that front knee, coming into a Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse warrior, keeping that front knee bent. Exhale, windmill over, side angle. And inhale, straighten that leg, bring those feet forward into a wide angle stance. And let's walk those feet together and just shake it out and take a moment here to breathe. Good job. Just take a moment here to notice how you're feeling as we move into these more challenging poses, standing strong in your legs and moving with grace and ease as well. Go ahead and separate your legs this time again, wide angle. And this time point that right foot out. Now we have our heel directly in front of our arch of our back foot. Bend up that front knee, coming into a warrior, warrior two. Looking over the right fingertips, breathing. Pressing towards the pinky toe side of our back foot. Breathing here, beautiful. Reverse warrior, reach behind you. Inhale, exhale, windmill over, resting on our forearm, reaching up with our arm straight over. Breathing, holding here. Breathing into that side body. Inhale, straighten up that front leg, wind behind us, reaching back behind us into reverse triangle. Now let's move into a triangle. Reach forward with your fingertips. Send those hips back in the opposite direction and wind down. Right hand down, left hand up. You can look up to the fingertips or straight ahead or even down, whatever works for you. Keeping a micro bend in that knee. Inhale, lift up, and let's put it all together. Exhale, bend the front knee, warrior two, looking over those fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, coming into a side angle. Inhale, straighten that front knee, reverse triangle. Exhale, triangle, Trikonasana. Inhale, reverse triangle again. Exhale, bend up at the front knee, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, go ahead and straighten those legs and come into a star pose. Straighten legs, face your toes both pointing forward. Reach out, throw your light that you have out into the world. Take a breath here and reach. Beautiful. Now go ahead, bring your feet together. Lovely. All right, so once again, we're going to now move into Nadarajasana or dancer pose. So this is what I love about this. It requires a strong balance in our legs, but it also requires an open heart. So we're going to step back this time. And actually, we're not going to step back from Tadasana, standing nice and tall. Shift your weight over to the left side. Shift your weight to the left and begin to put your foot, bend your up at your right knee and just go ahead and tap your toe and just begin to explore that feeling of putting all your weight on one leg. Now go ahead and bring that knee back to meet your opposite knee. Knee is bent, right knee is bent back towards the other leg, so it's in alignment with your standing leg. Reach behind you and grab onto your foot. Press your foot, the top of your foot, point your fingers out away from you. Point and press your foot into your hand. Now, as you press your foot into your hand, you might fall out, and that's okay. So we're just take this one step at a time. So we have our foot pressing in. We're pressing our foot into our hand. Our hips are square. We begin to fold forward, but we're moving as one piece. We're pressing our foot into our hand, And then we reach out with the opposite hand, reaching up, pressing, bending forward. Now, if you need a wall, feel free to go to a wall and just use the wall for support if you need. Press, press, press that foot and go ahead and float your foot down to the ground. Oh, I love that pose. I love how it makes me feel. Makes me feel strong and open. All right, let's do the other side. From Tadasana once again. Go ahead and shift your weight to the right side. Bend up at that right knee. You can press your toes onto the ground, or just begin to lift those toes, just to begin to feel what it's like to have all your weight on one leg. Now bend up at that knee and draw that knee back to meet your right knee. Reach behind you with your left hand. Turn your fingers out towards, away from you, keeping that knee next to the right knee, left next to right, so we're not drawing that knee out. Press your foot into your hand and begin to fold forward. And when you're ready, you can bring out your opposite arm, reach out with your opposite arm, and begin to fold forward. So we're strong and open to receive and to give all that we are. Breathing and releasing. Letting go. Beautiful. Go ahead and shake it out. Just take a moment here. Close your eyes. Take a big deep breath here. All right. Beautiful. Go ahead and separate your feet. Arms out again. Star pose. Inhale, draw those legs in towards each other. Exhale and reach to the pinky toe side of your feet, but keeping those big toes down to lift your arches. Breathing in, drawing in, lifting and reaching. All right, begin to forward fold now. Keeping your back nice and straight. And bring your hands down to the earth. Walk your hands out. We'll come into a giraffe pose. So it's like a down dog, except our arms, our legs are spread apart. Beautiful. So we get a nice stretch, a nice opening and hollowing in our armpits. Breathing here, releasing on your exhale. Inhale, reach and exhale. Inhale, reach and tighten those legs, squeeze the muscle. Exhale, release. Walk your hands back in, heel toe your feet to where they're still about a foot apart. And we're going to come into a malasana or squat. So depending on your knees, depending on the tightness of your hips, you might land here and keep your elbows on your thighs. Or perhaps you can come all the way down, drop your hips all the way down, bringing your hands into prayer pose. Put your arms to the outside, so press against your knees so that they don't drop in. So we want to press against. Again, press that big toe to lift up those arches. Breathing here, releasing, letting go. Lovely. Okay. Now let's turn back to lengthwise on your mat. Your knees are bent. Squeeze your legs together, and we're going to come to a reclining position as we begin to wind down our practice today. Our warrior for peace. Squeeze your legs together, arms to your side. Inhale. Now exhale, lower down slowly to the count of 10, 9, 8, squeezing 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Strengthening that core, strengthening the fire in our belly to fight for and what we believe in, standing strong. Now place your hands to the either opposite side of your hips. Inhale and go ahead. First, just tilt your pelvis back. So we're going to start with first tilting. So inhale and then exhale, just tilt. Press your feet into the earth and just simply tilt your hips back. Tilt your pelvis back. You're not lifting. Inhale, release. Exhale, tilt that pelvis back, squeezing your buttocks, and release. Now this time, let's lift. So we're going to tilt and press up with your hands. Now here you can have your arms, your elbows bent, pressing in with the upper arm, or you can lace your fingers behind you, underneath you, coming into bridge pose, drawing those elbows in, drawing those shoulder blades in towards the midline, pressing those feet into the earth, breathing, opening up your heart, opening up your chest, breathing in love and peace, and breathing out, giving love and peace out into the world. And release your hands if they are underneath you, and very slowly, one vertebra at a time, lower down. Bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Releasing any tension. Lower your feet to the ground, cross right leg over left. Bring your arms out like a T and take an inhale here, nice deep breath. And exhale and lower both legs over to the left, getting a nice stretch in your right IT band from your hips down towards to your knee. Just noticing here if you're using your bottom leg to keep your top leg lifted. Let go of that bottom leg. Let go of the top leg. Just release into the stretch. This too is one of my favorite things to do. I do this at the end of every single one of my own personal practices. Releasing any muscle tension, letting go. Now bring your legs up back to center. Unwind, take your left leg, cross it over your right, and maybe make an adjustment in your shoulders. Make sure that they're both flat and square to the earth, and lower both knees down to the opposite side, to the right side. Once again, just noticing here is how this side of your body feels. How do your hips feel? Is it tighter? Is it more, you have more of an opening, more lengthening here? Not only is each one of us different as human beings, but our bodies are different from one side to the other. Every day is a different day and a new day. It is in the difference that we find what makes us special and unique as a species and as individuals. Go ahead and bring those legs back up to center. Straighten the legs, bring your arms up overhead and just give yourself a nice big stretch. Squeezing muscle to bone, even make a fist, squeezing your face. Take a big inhale here and release. And find a comfortable position as we settle into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So if you need to find comfort, maybe putting a blanket underneath your knees, maybe a blanket under your head. Wherever you find comfort, just allowing yourself to be positioned for ease and to find peace in your body, and ease in your body, and peace in your mind. Begin to find your breath here again. Just noticing the flow of your breath as you breathe in from your toes up towards your knees, your hips, your waist, your chest, up through your throat, through the crown of your head, and then breathing out from the crown to your throat, to your chest, to your waist, hips, legs, ankles, toes. Take 2 more of those deep body, full body breaths. And as with each exhalation, settling into your moment of peace and calm. If we have air to breathe and a pulse, we have the power to make change for the better of humankind. For all living humans are breathing the same air and have blood pumping to their hearts. We are the same in that respect and different in the most beautiful way. Like trees and snowflakes and blades of grass, no two are alike, yet they are beautiful in their own way, as individuals and as a collective body. To judge and hate one of those impacts the collective. Each of us is a unique gift to the planet. We're here for a purpose. First and foremost, to respect each other as the most precious and vulnerable gift that will break if we don't handle it with care. When one breaks, we all break. We are each other's person. Embrace those around you with the love, respect, and trust they deserve. Allow those who break the bond to bear the consequences of their actions. Don't give them the power to own us and destroy what is good in the rest of us. They came into this world an innocent child, and somewhere along the way, they were broken. But their brokenness isn't ours to have. That is their own path. Resist the temptation to become like them. We have all been broken at some point. It is in our unique power to be the warrior of peace, to put up our shield and block what destroys us and protect others from becoming the broken one. Stand strong in knowing you are meant to be here for the good of all. For each life you touch with your kind heart will create a ripple effect in infinite proportions. Be the light of love and kindness that you already are, and don't hesitate to share your light in the smallest and biggest ways, from a smile to a stranger to marching for justice and peace. This is your truth. This is your destiny. and our destiny together. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And take a couple of deep breaths here. Now you can stay here if you like, or if you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto one side, bending up at the knees, bringing your knees in towards your chest, resting your head on your forearm like a pillow. And when you're ready, using your hands and your strength of your arms, push yourself up to sitting very slowly. And meet me in Sukhasana, easy pose. I thank you so much for joining me today in this special class. And may you find the warrior in yourself to find peace first within you, and that you can send out to the rest of the world. But it starts with each and every one of us. May the light in me honor the light in each of you. Namaste.